So, I'm Sarah, and I want to say welcome to Buyback Partners. I wanted to take this moment to share a little bit about this channel, what you can expect, and you can decide whether or not it is for you. So, I'll start by saying I am a real world business owner. I am a woman in her 40s. I've got 3 kids, 11 and under. I'm really busy. But the other thing I am is absolutely determined to begin my AI agency providing automation services to local businesses. The reason I want to do this is A, it's fascinating, right? I started implementing these things for my own business. B, because so many things out there that are implemented suck. And I'm going to demonstrate some of those to you. And also because I am determined to build a life outside of a life and income outside of my primary day job. I've done marketing in the past. I've had an agency and had to shut it all down with, I don't want to say it, with COVID. And we're in a new era of building. There's so much opportunity right now. And it is not just for the gym guys who and chads who can be out there grinding it out. It's not just for the sales guys who are so well versed. It's not for Silicon Valley and the San Francisco Bay Area venture capitalists or coding geniuses. All right. There is room in this service niche for a lot of people. So if you don't look like one of those things, I don't either. All right. And that is okay because I am forging the way. I'm already halfway there. And I want to share what I've learned. And I want to help you implement it as well. I am more than happy to be the guinea pig. So I am going to be throwing things against the wall, seeing what stick with a strategy. I have some really amazing mentors. So I'm actually really excited about that. But I'm balancing that with the real world, with 3 kids, with another job, with trying to deliver and create really amazing outcomes for the clients that I'm working with that bigger goal in mind. So if any of that sounds like where you are, stick around. Also, please know I will be terrified of boring you. So if I am, leave it in the comments and I will try to do better. Please know that if you're in your 40s and some of this seems like a little bit of a learning curve, that's okay. I'm there too. I remember Oregon Trail, probably wish I spent more time in the coding side of the class than the drowning in the river side of the class, but coulda, woulda, shoulda. It's actually a lot of fun. And I've already learned that with Retell, which is a AI voice automation that you can use to set up to, as a voice receptionist, essentially. I have learned that with N8N, which for some reason always makes me think 9-inch nails. Anyone else? The N and the 2 N's, right? Not as scary as you think. Nodes are really not that bad. Actually, the first time I saw my little automation work, I almost felt like the first time I saw a baby heartbeat on an ultrasound, which, side note, I was observing the tech, the ultrasound tech, and I teared up watching a little heartbeat, like a little butterfly in this woman's belly. And she was texting because it was her 5th kid and she was not magical for her. Anyway, this is like the magic, soulless new life. But part of what my approach is as well is to integrate a human component. A lot of this is really soulless and some of it is really shitty. We're not doing any of that here. Anything that I build is meant to improve the lives of business owners and of their customer, to make things more efficient, easier, more positive and pleasant, not just adding layers of frustration, right? Like if you've ever called in your prescription to Walgreens and you're like, pharmacy. Like all you want to do is get to the pharmacy. You don't need to hear about the hours. You don't need to hear about what shots are available. You don't need to hear all of this other stuff first, right? Like just let me get to where I'm trying to go. Okay, so let's add a human layer of how we want to be interacting with technology and make that a foundation of what we do. That's my personal philosophy on it. All right. So all that being said, I have created a slideshow for you and I have used AI to do it. So I have created my outline of what I wanted to share today. And I'm just going to run through it really fast. Again, terrified of boring you. And I've created this with Gamma. So if you've never used Gamma AI, highly recommend it. It makes these cool slides. All you do is just put in your text and it does it for you, which is amazing because in the past I've always had to pay somebody to create these. And this is way easier and faster. So I'm going to share my screen. Welcome to my screen. And we already talked about this, like automating the boring and keeping the human, right? And this isn't about replacing humans with robots, but it's about giving leverage. And that leverage is also what I'll be talking about when it comes to finding the customers. Because again, busy, don't have time to be out door knocking or cold calling. Really, my focus is going to be on leveraging my time and my essentially authority to attract ideal clients that I can work with and really serve at the highest level. So why does this channel exist? Because I can't find another one like it. Okay. And I do think I'm somehow just I've put in the time and the effort and spent the money on the coaching and the programs and been in all the school communities because I find this so interesting. So I really do want to share with people, show you that there are though different ways that exist to find success aside from the grind, the prodigy of coding, etc. We can actually break this down into little building blocks and make progress. And you're going to watch me do that as well. Okay. A lot of the advice out there is a lot of hype and a lot of flex. Let's call it what it is. They're teaching AI. You think that they're not generating screenshots? I'm sure that some of these people are very genuine and authentic and successful, but a lot of them aren't. A lot of them are just hopping onto this train of, oh, this is the next thing. We've already done, SMMA and then short form content. And then this is the next thing, but actually not in the trenches, not doing it. We're actually doing it here. Anything I share is going to be the truth. And probably some of that's not going to be all bright and shiny. Okay. The reality. Real life does have constraints. Again, this isn't going to be about a completely ascetic lifestyle of waking up at 4 a.m., hitting the gym for 2 hours, then deep work and my morning ritual, and then, client calls till 9 p.m. No, I'm unfortunately, I will try to hit the gym, but it's going to be about preparing breakfast too for my kids and then getting out the door looking somewhat presentable and then making sure that if they get called and have to get picked up because somebody threw up, fell down, or is crying, this is real life. Anything here is going to be built around real life and the solution. I'm going to show you what is actually working today when you're actually applying these principles in the local business world, what works, what people love, what people hate, and how to, kind of skip the learning curve. This is all about the 20-80. What is the 20% of things we can put our attention on that's going to get you to 80% of results? All right, so hang in there. Let's move on. So who is this for? If you're a solo builder or a tiny team, you're wearing all the hats. If you are trying to create leverage and you don't want to be cringe, if you want to see what works and also treat things that, again, human touch, this is the place for you. And just anyone who does value the human touch. I think a lot of the fear around automation is frustrating those customers, right? You don't want to turn people off. But like an example of a voice receptionist, if the call is either going to be missed and go to voicemail or missed and go to an AI receptionist, the AI receptionist is the lesser of the two evils. Like, first of all, more people don't like leaving messages. You don't like listening to messages. You don't like calling people back. So what if we can cut out that middleman, right? And technically voicemail is sort of a robot, right? And it's going to stop people from going to the next person. If they feel like they are now in contact with somebody, they are going to be followed up on, they know what to expect, and they kind of can check off the problem mentally, right? If you're looking for a plumber and you're calling all the after hours places and leaving messages, who's going to get your visit? The person who responds first. So if you can reach a voice receptionist, is like, hey, we've got this. We're going to send it to our owner and you'll hear back within 30 minutes. I'm going to stop calling. I don't like sitting there calling a million plumbers. And can you tell I did that earlier this year when our shower wouldn't turn off, just still going, had to turn off all the hot water to stop any of it. So we're trying to solve those real world problems, make life better for everyone, and help you get more customers for your customers if you're the builder here. What you'll get back. So I'm going to be showing you what I'm building. So again, I've already made those first baby steps as far as creating automations, linking different things, the latest and greatest. But again, focusing on the 80-20 of what will move the needle for local businesses. We'll be talking about different playbooks and, look at some things that suck and see how we can make them better. Okay. This is the fix it in me. My edge. Why should you trust me? I think I've already shared about this. Ultimately, this is not to boost my ego. I may have an ego, and if you'd like to leave a compliment, I'm open to it. But this is about me sharing the path and personally, also holding myself accountable because I am serious about this. And I think it's important to see the process of learning it. And then maybe if somebody behind me, your first step on the path, if I can save you some stumbles, I'm glad to do it. All right. That's the why. My core promise is leverage over hustle. Again, I've done the hustle. I've tried it, burned out. It's not sustainable. This is about AI and automation. We should be able to leverage the hell out of it, right? Let's do that. Let's make a million clones of ourselves that are tireless and can get our message across and then deploy those across all of the networks, all of the internet-y things, and let them do that heavy lifting. That's going to be the fun part of implementing. And we're going to do this without losing our souls. All right. So if you prefer to keep your soul, you're in the right place. All right. The bite back standard, human first. This is kind of blah, blah, blah stuff. Okay. So this is about how it's important when we get to implementation for local businesses. We don't need to talk about it right now. What you can expect with the next 4 videos, I'm going to be talking about a voice receptionist setup, missed call, text back, booked, which again, real world perspective, I do not understand why missed call text back is so hard to sell. I don't know if people don't really understand it yet, but I'm going to figure out a good way to sell it. So, don't worry. Just know, like, initial uptake, a little slow, but we're going to crack that code. Human feeling scripts. Again, how can we make things that aren't horrible, like the Walgreens auto bot when you call to fill a prescription? And then the voice receptionist from hell to helpful. So this is their first 4, what you can expect. So if you're watching this and you're looking for the next thing to learn from, these are the foundational videos I would recommend. They are coming soon. My constraints, I'm on a time budget, I'm on a tool budget, and I am on a people I work with budget. Right. I probably will put more than the 4 to 6 hours in because I like this stuff. It's fun for me. Right now, I mean, I'm in a little office I rented so I can escape my children. So there's not like someone in the screen asking for candy while I'm filming all of this. But it's not going to be a full-time gig, right? This is what I can do, how I can leverage the time for maximum efficiency while maintaining a quality experience for everyone involved. I don't want to do a million tools, right? My brain does get full. I'm having fun learning these things, but I hit a wall, right? So it's not going to be everything under the sun. It's going to be what we can use, the 80-20 of tools to get the best results and use them to their full capacity, not just dabble around for a million things. And if people hate it, it's out. And if it's people that aren't great to work with, that's out too, right? Like, we have limited time. This is a huge market. Everyone needs this, right? Let's show them how, and let's work with the people who are going to value that. That's all. And as far as values, what is it that we find, right? Useful is over impressive. This is utilitarian with a couple, bells and whistles, but it doesn't need to be super complex to get a really great result. I mean, I was just reading today about cold email. Like, you can do all of the things under the sun of customizing so their name is in the headline, and use, the ChatGPT to research their role, and you can relate to their last LinkedIn post and all of this stuff. And then they're just going to hit spam or delete or, move on. Versus if you just have a really strong, really valuable, intriguing question or offer that people want, they're going to respond. It doesn't need to be all of the things, right? It can be something very simple and still get great results. Clarity over clever. Now, I'm probably going to have some trouble here because I'm going to try to be clever, but I will restrain myself to the best of my ability. I'll ask ChatGPT if I'm being too fancy. I'm sure it'll keep me in line because I told it to. Side note, you can program ChatGPT to be less nice. So if you are getting a lot of smoke blown up your, you can alter it. And that's what I suggest you do. I have mine talk to me a little more Gen X, and that has helped me kind of stay in my lane, not get too ahead of myself, not to get too excited about things, but a little more realism. So if that is something that may help you, just side note, look into that. And human is over frictionless. So sometimes not everything's the fastest, right? Just like I'm going to hate to bore you. Sometimes I might, because I am human, and I apologize for that, but that's okay. We're going to do our best to make people feel heard. And if that takes a minute longer or 10 seconds longer or whatever it takes, that's going to be considered. That's why you find this helpful too. Like, when you get to a fork in the road, if you're building an automation, that you can kind of ask yourself, is this impressive or is this useful? Does this give more room for error, or does this actually serve people or just make me look good? Really putting the client experience that first is ultimately going to serve you really well, as we have so many options and things to make this super complicated, and we don't need to, right? Let's start simple, and then we can always, build as we go. Add complexity. All right, here are some metrics that matter. And part of this is, again, just to reinforce to you why there is such a huge need for implementing these processes in your local community, local businesses. Automation is absolutely going to help with booked calls and show up rate. It's going to make people happier with the experience. It's going to get that lead to follow-up time dialed in, which is going to be the ultimate game changer for your clients. Speed to lead, right? Because again, people are going to go on to the next business if they don't hear a response. They're going to forget that they needed that. The faster you can get back to people, the more they're going to convert. So that's just more money in everybody's pocket, and more people served too. And so I'll be sharing the growth of my agency alongside this. Okay, so here are some resources that I'm offering that I think are going to be most valuable to people who are just starting this kind of delivery journey. If you find them helpful, you'll find the links below. How to use this channel is all about just watching these videos. I'm going to be providing templates. Again, I'm going to be showing you the things that I find useful, and where I find that I can't find the things that are useful, I'm going to create the things that are useful. So you're in the right place. You can always adapt things to your own usage, but my challenge to you is going to be ship as fast as you can. 24 to 48 hours. Just like the speed to lead is important, the speed to implementation is important. And that's for both learning and actually starting to get results. It's really easy to get stuck in learning mode. I really encourage you not to. And I can absolutely feel this because I've gone through a lot of school, and kind of you get in this place where you're like, I have to learn it 100% before I can do it, before I can implement it, before I can be hired, before I can be licensed. This is not like that. This is just for people who are out there willing to get their hands dirty and figure it out on the way, right? You're building your rocket ship as you take off. So you're Elon Musk, okay? You can do it. It may feel a little unnatural at times, but you just got to start. And I promise you, you'll get results. And if you drop, just leave a comment. I'm here to help. This is not about getting rich quick. You're not going to get rich quick, okay? I've tried it. It's just not going to happen. But what I can tell you is this is you mining in the early days of the Californian cold rut, right? So don't freak out. But no, you do need to be putting yourself out there if you want to be finding the opportunity. I am not a just buy my course guru. This is all public. I will plan on starting a school group, I think, at some point, but that's not here today. And that's not what this is about. It's not about some big course. Like I said, this is just about transparency. I want to share my journey so that you don't think the only way you can succeed is if you fit into these little boxes that are what we see on all the other channels. Unique. And tools I actually use. Retell AI. Really like this one. It's just kind of fun. Go try it today. It's a free trial. You can set up an automation and you can call it and interact with it. It's really fun. The first one I built was for a pest control. I had my husband test it, and he immediately broke it by telling it he had ants in his pants. So valuable feedback, what stumps your agent and how can you work around that for any of these really hilarious men who might be interacting with it. But you don't know that until you try it, right? So you got to get in there and try it. It's really fun. Go high level, love-hate relationship. Ultimately, they're on the side of love. There's a lot to learn and go high level, but there's also a lot that could be pretty simplified. So that is what I do use for my own CRM and to build a lot of these things for clients. And then just some call recordings and light analytics. New tools break. We knew that. Scripting matters. Yep. So again, that's the human touch. And continuous iteration is required. That's good news because that's going to keep clients who are going to pay you monthly recurring, right? Because it takes maintenance. This isn't just a set and forget. It's a set and maintain. So, keeps it interesting. Why bite back? I get this question sometimes. And the reason for this is if you've ever run a business, it will feel like everything is taking a bite out of your revenue. You have, all of the softwares. You may have payroll, you have payroll taxes. You have pass-through entity taxes. You have, the light bill. You have, just all kinds of random crap that's going to pop up. And you're like, what? Why? I'm the one sitting here on a Sunday afternoon doing this work. I am the one showing up early. I'm the one who went through all the school or through all the trainings. I'm the one risking looking foolish or not knowing what I'm doing or having to deal with an angry customer. You're the one who's vulnerable, who's doing the work to try to accomplish something new and different and challenging. And then just everything comes in and takes bites. So a big part of what I do as well is just bite back. Okay. So what are the things we can do to bite back? We can bite back against lost revenue by capturing every single call that comes in, right? If you're spending money on advertising and then missing half of the people who call from that's not going to work out really. That math is not math. So if we can capture more of those, that's good. That's in the bite back pile. If we can, reduce credit card merchant service fees, which are often super high and crazy, then you're putting more money right back in your pocket. Your hard-earned money should go in your pocket, right? Not in Visa's pocket. You didn't sign up to have Visa as your business partner, as far as I can tell. Any of these little middlemen, where can we make things more lean in a really simple way? Again, the missed call text back can be helpful. The voice receptionist, the automated lead follow-up, newsletters, so you can stay top of mind, so you can build know, like, trust on autopilot. Those are the things that are going to help keep more of that hard-earned revenue in a business's pocket. And I think that's absolutely important. It's not just throwing more money at problems. It's about keeping more as well. So that's the philosophy of fight back. Okay, and every good YouTube video wraps up with a call to action. So here's your call to action. If you found this helpful or you think it might be helpful in the future, please subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Go ahead and you can download the free pack below that's supposed to be helpful for you. If it's not, let me know. Again, human here to improve. And then watch the next video. And also probably hit like. That's not on the list, but come on, you know the drill. I love hearing back from you. Where are you stuck? And actually raise your hand if you pushed on a pulled door today. If that's you, comment down below too, because it'd be nice to know I'm not alone. All right, that wraps it up. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one.